Welcome to The Official. We are continuing our series here this week on how to identify a star QB, whether it's really pumping up that guy who's rated number one on all the lists and saying, no, this is the real deal, or whether it's kind of looking down the list and saying, hey, this guy pops via our model. I think he should be ranked higher, and then stacking him in all your college fantasy drafts. We are talking about the athleticism score for QBs. Matt and David have developed this. I'm just really riding their coattails as usual. But what this is telling us is really how to identify QBs that then go on to produce in the college game and the NFL. If you want more details, check out 2 videos ago in our YouTube feed and check out that video, which gives a lot more detail on what goes into this. But as of right now, we're going to take a look at the college landscape based on this QB athlete score, which we've established is a really good projector of future potential. And we've already looked at the NFL landscape. This is now the current college landscape. And so number one, probably not to many people's surprise, Jalen Milroe, QB for Alabama, hyper athlete. I think he's a Heisman contender this year. I also think he's a potential first round pick if he has a good year and shows some of that passing ability. Riley Leonard, David, he's a guy we've talked about for a few years. Back when 2 years ago, we liked his dunks. We went and found his high school dunks. We're like, this guy's a freaking athlete. And now he's scoring high on this, looking like traits of an NFL first rounder. Transferred to Notre Dame. He's got the prestige. Could he work his way into a first round pick? We talked about Lenore Says in the last episode. David, Mike Wright, Gary Bohannon, and Daquan Finn. These are 3 guys kind of middling there in college football, but hyper athletes. Any hope for any of them, do you think? First round pick?
No, definitely not. Definitely not first rounders on those guys. We were kind of talking beforehand, and I guess Mike Wright would be in this too, but because I don't think Mike Wright has really produced much at all either. So, but Wright and Bohannon are like the 2 guys that were like, they're honestly pretty freaky and pretty traitsy. You would think that would equal college production, and it just really hasn't happened. So generally speaking, those guys would produce, but they're just not good at passing a football. So unfortunate there. Finn's not even that good of a passer either, but he's been pretty productive. So I think you need to get a good situation as well. I think you just kind of need a lot of things to work in your favor.
Yeah, good in the MAC. Castellanos is a guy we all liked as a recruit, hyper athlete, and he's making it happen in college, probably too small for NFL potential. Matt, any of these guys after this 90, we've said there's some NFL QBs and high draft picks who are in that high 80s. Take your pick from this group. Who do you think, could work their way into high NFL potential? Who do you like out of the group here in yellow in the 80s?
Although I'm not a huge fan of him, I mean, Shedeur Sanders, obviously, as well as Quinn Ewers, both have the highest chance, just being the top-rated guys amongst that group. Weigman's also pretty high up there as well. I think Taylor Green is kind of a dark horse in this group. Not necessarily a great passer, but he has looked pretty good in the past, and he's lined up to be the starter there at Arkansas this year, with the new offense there. So he could at least be very college fantasy relevant, to say the least, and he has the physical tools to go early. He's definitely going to run well at the combine, assuming he's invited. I guess that. Orjai is also in the same boat.
Very questionable passing. I think Felix, one of the guys here at Campus to Canton, tweeted recently, if Alex Orji is even kind of a good passer, you're going to see a crazy rise this year. I've seen other things saying he's one of the more important players in all of college football as to what he can lead Michigan to do. So a lot of building blocks there for him. Can he throw the ball at a level that we need? TBD.
Yeah.
So, and I would like to highlight, if you haven't watched all of our videos, we kind of outlined a little bit what athleticism score means. It doesn't mean these guys are the next Lamar Jackson. And there are guys here who aren't really known for running. Shedeur Sanders, not really a runner. Quinn Ewers, not a runner. Tyler Van Dyke, Sam Levitt, not really. But it has to do with a lot of other things. So these are not simply the best dual threats. This is a metric that is baking in production potential. It is not just who runs well. So while Jalen Milroe, yes, he's a great runner, and some of these other guys, some of these guys don't have to be and still will have high scores, and that does project to NFL potential. So that's the college landscape right now. Those are the top 15 by athlete score in college football. And if you don't see a name there and you're curious, drop in the comments your favorite QB. Why isn't he up there? I thought he was good. We'll tell you a score and maybe give you a little color around why we do or don't like the guy that you mentioned in the comments. Also, go ahead and like this video as well. And I'm going to bring up here the last graphic of the week, and we're going to look at the 2025 class. Now, this is the class that we have been thoroughly examining this whole summer, and this class looks good. A previous video looked at the 2023 and the 2024 freshman classes, and I have to say only 2 guys scored over 90%. So before I share this graphic, keep that in mind. Only 2 guys over 90 in the last 2 classes, 4 total over the last 2 classes. And now you have the 2025 class. Boom. We've got 6 guys over 90 athletes score. This is looking like a premium QB class. We've been talking about it all summer. A lot of guys we like. You got Deuce Knight, Bryce Underwood, the QB1 101, everybody's QB1. Longstreet, Matt Zollers, Lloyd Jones, Kamario Taylor, all over 90. Matt, you brought up Lloyd Jones recently, I think, or maybe it was David, but we all like him. Going to Texas Tech, he's going to get Mahomes comps, and he is pretty low ranked by the services, but 92.7. So we like that. There's a reason we have him ranked high. It's not simply just off the cuff. Matt, what do you think of Longstreet? He's a guy I've liked. He's only a 2-sport QB. Why is he scoring so high in this model?
Yeah, I think he, outside of Deuce Knight, he probably presents the best combination of speed and arm strength. I mean, there's a guy who's probably going to run in legit, 4.5, 4.4 40 when time comes to the combine. And on top of it, he has one of the upper echelon arms in this class. I believe what's his ball velocity? 58.
Yeah.
And by all accounts, at 11, I mean, he easily had one of the top arms in showing there as well. So just kind of a combination of those things. He also has crazy big hands and long arms for someone his size. I believe I don't have it down here, but I mean, well over, plus 6 or 7 inches. I mean, crazy wingspan, something like that.
He's very fun. I hope he doesn't wind up at Texas A&M. I think USC is sniffing around. And speaking of USC, Julian Lewis, a guy we've been fading on Julian Lewis, and now he shows up with the athleticism score 48.9. I saw a tweet today. He's not someone from On3 or 24/7 said they highly doubt he sticks with USC, which is maybe why they're chasing Longstreet, which I'd much prefer Longstreet go to USC. And now Lewis is saying like Indiana or Colorado. So, I mean, red flag on red flag on red flag here for Julian Lewis, who was a freshman phenom just a year and a half ago. Between him and George McIntyre, are these guys landmines for you in 2025? Because they're both ranked pretty high.
Yeah, it seems like him and his camp are really trying to get the best deal they can on the NIL market. I don't really blame him. I mean, might as well get your money while you can, because
get your bag.
He's just not, as you can see, he's not an NFL tradesy type guy. We've been saying that since the beginning. I do think he can be a good college quarterback, but not so. I prefer, obviously, the guys in green here. So, yeah, it's a red. I mean, Colorado and Indiana just seems strange to me, but he's not a guy I'm going to be drafting, honestly.
And then I think George McIntyre is a little bit of a cautionary tale. I mean, he has dropped in the rankings, but he's a guy who you look at his athletic, like his traditional numbers, his 40 time, his rushing yards. He looks like a dual threat. He looks like a guy kind of runs around. He makes plays, looks like a playmaker. But when you put him through this model, when you put him through all these numbers, he comes out pretty low on athleticism. So again, this is not simply, are you a good rusher? It's taking in more things. And I did not like the tape. I really was down on him. And now it's looking like He's, unless some things change, granted, ball velo could change, some other stuff could change over the next year, but he's looking like he's got an uphill climb to be an NFL first-round pick, even though he's like a top 5 quarterback, I think, from all the surfaces. So potential landmine, Lewis and McIntyre, but those other 6 guys, including Kamario Taylor, we just talked about recently, very, very exciting QB class. And not to mention, there's some guys in the 80s that didn't make it on this graphic. So there's definitely a nice number of QBs that we can get excited about for that 2025 class. Yeah, Matt?
We should probably just note Tavian Sinclair, 83rd percentile. So
yes.
Solid, but not amazing.
Yeah, and we like St. Clair for sure. I only had so much room. But yeah, we like Sinclair for sure. And I think, that's good enough, 83%. But not the hyper level that we saw with some of those other guys. We still like St. Clair. Definitely not a disqualifier there for him. That's it for the official. Like and subscribe to this video, and we'll keep it going. See you guys next time.